9:44. Welcome back to BT Live Shot from Century Plaza Hotel and Spa. Obviously a tough morning with some news out of Toronto with another fatal incident. This one a mass shooting. Dr. Shimi Kang joining us to help make sense of it all, especially when tragedy hits, whether it's with our families, with our friends, how we begin talking about these tough topics. What do you recommend to open this conversation with family and friends?
Yeah, I mean, seems to be happening more often, and you wonder, do we talk about it or do we not? I think you definitely want to bring it up if it's in the news and it's something in the community, and just check in and see how people are coping with it. What are their thoughts? Some may want to leave it on a very factual basis and say, oh, what information are we receiving? Others may want to really open up or plug into how it's making them feel, whether they're terrified or scared or feeling depressed about it or hopeless, whatever that emotion might be. This one hits close to home, I think partly because it's Canada. I know even my kids driving here were asking about gun laws and how this might happen or change things in Canada. So I think it's really important to find out what's on people's minds.
What about frequency of introducing these topics? I mean, the topic of tragedy, always hard when the crisis point hits, but as a parent, for example, is this something we should be discussing on the regular instead of just waiting until the news hits and then addressing it? Yeah,
emotional health and emotional check-in is a key part of our well-being and our health. It actually, people, I think, underestimate that it's our emotions that drive our behavior, our decisions, no matter what. So you can hear something on the news that's really upsetting, and if you don't take the time to process or understand it, that might affect your decision 4 hours later, or how you might behave, in a coffee lineup. So really making sure that we are addressing things that we're hearing on the news that are affecting us or in our personal lives is a key aspect to a good, healthy lifestyle.
And what are some of the key emotions to really check in on?
So the key easy ones, mad, sad, or scared. So just if you can memorize those and check in with people, and yourself, does this make me mad, sad, or scared, or a little bit of all three? It doesn't have to be one, it could be components. Just knowing what they are is really important. We call it name it to tame it in mental health and in my world. So if you can just name how you're feeling, are you angry about it? Does this really make you angry at whatever, whoever might be? Are you sad about it? Like, this just really gives me a sense of grief or sadness. Or are you scared? Are you feeling terrified, fearful, a little bit apprehensive? There's spectrum of all of those emotions. So mad, sad, scared is the thing to remember.
And what about this scenario? If a child has not brought up the topic, or even a friend, and you know that they could be hurting, how do you know it's a good time to check in, and what are the key questions to ask to really access and engage them?
That's tricky because you don't want to go too far, maybe not at the right time. So you can always start with something really open, like how are you doing today? How are you feeling today? And I think when there's something in the air or the elephant in the room, that might bring it up. Sometimes people really don't want to go there. They're trying to cope with whatever's happening, and they know that's going to derail them. And they may say, I'm fine. And if you really know something's going on, you can say, hey, you can always come talk to me. I think that offer is really important. Say, hey, I'm here to listen. If you do want to talk later or anytime, just kind of giving that reach out and let them have their space. I think with younger kids, especially if you know that they're not so open emotionally, they're your quiet child or the one that really doesn't open up. So that's where you might need to take a bit more time. Just do something together, coloring, or go for a walk together, or I play basketball with my kids, and then see what comes out. It might come out 3-5 minutes later. So really kind of take that individual approach.
Well, I like the idea of making it about an activity, which is a healthy distraction of doing something together and then just letting it naturally flow out.
Yeah.
These are great ideas of what to do just to engage when incidents like this come up, and obviously a tough time for our friends and families in Toronto. We'll follow the story and bring you more as the show unfolds. Shimi, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break.